Chelsea gained 3 points on their top 4 rivals. Olivier Giroud's 5th goal in 6 starts against Liverpool helped Chelsea keep their Champions League dream alive with a 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge on Sunday afternoon. The Reds started quickly but lacked penetration once Giroud struck in the first half. Chelsea are now just 3 points behind the Reds with a game in hand to be played at home to Huddersfield on Wednesday night. Here are 4 talking points from a tense 90 minutes. Olivier Giroud goal changed the tide of the game. Both sides started the game playing very much to their strengths. Chelsea stayed solid in defense and attempted to play on the counter-attack, while Liverpool dominated the ball, but pushed forward at pace in trademark fashion when they did win possession high. Sadio Mane was particularly lively, drifting in from wide areas to run at the heart of the home defense. He forced Thibaut Courtois into a couple of early saves, while Roberto Firmino was freely moving around the pitch, causing havoc too. Trent Alexander-Arnold, starting in the Reds' depleted midfield, was finding joy with well-timed passes over the top of N'Golo Kante, who was as energetic as usual. Chelsea maintained efficiency in attack themselves, and they took the lead just past the half-hour mark. Alvaro Morata's recent struggles have made Giroud's January signing look like a stroke of genius, and he scored for the 4th time in as many games by towering above Virgil van Dijk to nod home Victor Moses' deflected cross. Jurgen Klopp's side's midweek exploits in reaching the Champions League final brought them into this game full of confidence, and although they maintained a threat, Chelsea ended the first half very much in control. N'Golo Kante's qualities have been forgotten this season in comparison to their last Premier League title defense 2 years ago. Chelsea have not been too bad this season. Rather than flirting with relegation and sacking their manager before pulling themselves into mid-table, the Blues have maintained a push for the Champions League and reached the FA Cup final. Antonio Conte's future is still in doubt though, and the speculation over his future has cast a rather dark shadow over parts of the campaign. Morata has struggled to live up to expectations, while Eden Hazard has only found top gear sporadically, but not everyone deserves to be placed under the microscope in any post-mortem this summer. There is a lot to be said for Kante being taken for granted, not just by those at Chelsea, but everyone within the wider football community. The dynamic French midfielder has been so consistent since breaking onto the scene at Leicester, and despite everything going on in West London since he lifted his 2nd league title in succession last year, his level has rarely dropped. His intercepting ability may catch the eye most, but he showed an expertise in positioning during Liverpool's best spell of the game. Bakayoko, his midfield partner, who has endured a tough debut season in England, struggled to keep up with the visitors' movement at times, but Kante's anticipation was matched by the fact he was never more than a few feet away from the action. Mohamed Salah's recent frustrations continued. Criticizing Mohamed Salah after the season he has had is extremely harsh, but Liverpool's 43-goal hero has not had the best of times since his brace against former club Roma in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. 3 games have since passed and Salah has failed to add to his already incredible total. Such a run would go unnoticed if goals hadn't become so expected of him this season, but that just shows the stunning form he has been in. Returning to Stamford Bridge for the first time since leaving for Syria in January of 2015, the Egyptian king will have wanted to prove a point or two, but this game, rather than against Stoke or the 2nd leg in Rome, felt like an off day. He simply could not find the space as Chelsea kept the gaps between midfield and attack as tight as they could. Mane and Firmino drifted into space and did get on the ball, but as the season has gone on, Salah's game has changed. He has become more about finishing chances, which is why he was voted both the PFA and the Football Writers' Player of the Year, but he found himself far too isolated all afternoon. Liverpool just couldn't get themselves going after Giroud's goal, perhaps understandably after their recent exertions, and they head into the final game of the season against Brighton with work to do in order to secure the top 4. Salah had been hoping to break the record of 34 goals in a Premier League season in order to top off the most remarkable of debut seasons, but that seems like little more than a pipe dream now. Chelsea can still reach Europe's top table as the season edges to a close. They took 3 points in typical Chelsea style, with a performance full of organisation, grit and determination. Even Conte must have feared for their place in the Champions League next season after their defeat to Tottenham over the Easter weekend, with the gap between the sides standing at 10 points at one stage. Now, as well as being 3 behind Liverpool, the Blues are just 2 adrift of their London rivals, who host Newcastle this week. Conte then takes his side to St James's Park to face Rafa Benitez's Magpies on Sunday. Klopp's nerves will be jangling, because he will not want to go into the final needing to beat Real Madrid for any other reason than historic glory. But while many expected the relegation battle to go all the way until the final day, there are still plenty of twists and turns in the race to reach the biggest competition of them all. Want to read more football articles? Register with The Sportsman to personalize your news feed with your favorite sports and football team.